Greetings, everyone. My name is Jonathan Bailey, and I am from the website Plagiarism Today, which can be found at plagiarismtoday.com. Happy Monday, everyone. Hope your work week is off to a great start. And I know at least one person for whom this is a happy Monday, or at least a moderately happy Monday. That is Fareed Zakaria, the Time and CNN correspondent slash reporter slash editor slash all-around journalism superstar, who is back at work this week following a plagiarism scandal. Those who were not following along, on Friday the 10th, allegations surfaced from a sort of a left-wing watch blog that Zakaria had plagiarized content in an article about gun control from an earlier article in the New Yorker. The scandal blew up almost immediately. Those allegations were made in the morning of the 10th. By that evening, he had been suspended from both Time and CNN. Time supposedly had suspended him for a month, and CNN supposedly had suspended him indefinitely pending an investigation. And it was really a headspin moment for him. Usually plagiarism scandals unfold kind of slowly, but this one was super quick, and in fact it kind of blew my mind a little bit because I read copyright and plagiarism news very regularly. But I didn't read it for like 6 hours because I was doing like work and related stuff. And next thing I know, I check it and Fareed Zakaria is suspended. And it's like, what? But anyways, supposedly CNN and Time, both of which by the way are owned by Time Warner, conducted an investigation into Zakaria's prior works, found nothing else, worthy of discipline, and decided to go ahead. They felt comfortable enough to reinstate him. Now, this isn't to say that other allegations weren't filed. In that week, there were several allegations. He had lifted quotes and other things, but one of the allegations made by the Washington Post turned out to be outright false. Some was actually disproved, and the others were either extremely minor or bending the truth in some way, and they just frankly didn't stick, even with someone who was vulnerable at that time to plagiarism allegations. So nothing else really stuck to him, and as a result, CNN and Time completed their investigation and decided that they now feel comfortable bringing him back on board. The challenge for me in this is I'm wondering how thorough this investigation was. As a guy who does plagiarism analyses for a living, for a large part of his living at least, I know how long these take, and it's not something you can do trivially. And given someone who has been around as long as Fareed Zakaria, and as someone who is prolific as Zakaria is, it's unlikely that they, in fact it's pretty much impossible, that they looked at everything he has ever done. Even with the best tools available, giving everything a serious look would take much, much, much longer. What's more likely is that they did a modest sample of his work and have concluded that at the very least what happened was not a systemic problem, and therefore they felt comfortable placing him. I'm pretty sure there's still some level of investigation ongoing. At least I'd imagine so. But it seems like at this point they're comfortable bringing him back on, and the reasons for that are obvious. Zakaria is a very well-paid correspondent, and suspending him, especially with pay, is basically throwing money down a well, because he's a guy that's commanding a very, very large salary. So keeping him on for like a month without him actually doing any work or benefiting the company in any way is a tremendous waste. So they got to a point where they felt comfortable this wasn't a systemic problem, brought him back on, and at least make him work while they finished the investigation. They reached, like I said, that point. Now, is that right? Is that wrong? I said in the previous talk on this that if this allegation, this incident is truly the only one, that I felt comfortable that he should not have his career end, that maybe there should be some penalty here, but that his career should not end. And he seemed in his recent interview very contrite, and he seemed like he was going to do some of the things I was talking about, such as scaling back his activities, sort of focusing on what's important to him and not trying to take on everything, not being the Nicolas Cage of journalism and actually turning down a role from time to time. But long story short, he does seem to have learned some lessons from it, and it seems like Time Warner did conduct at least some investigation. Don't know how good it was. We don't know any details about this investigation at all. One of the things that does make me a bit nervous. But hopefully they did a thorough job. They know that this isn't a systemic issue, and at the very least they can bring him back and deal with the isolated problems that have been confirmed, the isolated problem that has been confirmed, and any others that might come up. They'll know they're not widespread enough to be career killing. So that's the point right now. That's kind of where we're at. This is not a Jonah Lehrer scandal where it's just the allegations are going to keep piling up. It seems as if the report, the analyses and so forth have failed to deliver. So that's good for Zakaria. He's back at work today and probably will continue to be, though I suspect he is going to make good on his promise and scale back his activities a little bit so that he's not put in this position again where he's tempted to do something like this. But I do think, based upon his history and his career, he deserves a second chance, and I hope that he takes advantages and realizes just how lucky he is right now to be still working in journalism, given what happened. He is truly one of a kind in this regard. So, on that note, everyone, thank you very much for joining me today, and I will see you guys tomorrow with more copyright and/or plagiarism news.